This is Newstalk ZB News.
It's 1 o'clock. I'm Raylene Ramsey. AUKUS is expected to be the sticking point when New Zealand delegates visit China. Trips are in the works for Prime Minister Chris Luxon, Trade Minister Todd McClay, as well as Foreign Minister Winston Peters. China has expressed concerns over New Zealand's interest in AUKUS. Geopolitical analyst Geoffrey Miller says it's rolling out the red carpet in an attempt to steer us away from the intelligence pact.
They are showing that New Zealand's really important to a country of over 1 billion people and that New Zealand matters to China, and they are effectively saying, look, there's a lot at stake here. Do you really want to put that at risk?
News you can trust. This is Newstalk ZB News.
It's 3 o'clock. I'm Raylene Ramsey. New Zealand's economic relationship with China is likely to play a big part in official visits this year. The Foreign Affairs Minister, Prime Minister and Trade Minister will all make trips. It will be Chris Luxon's first visit since becoming Prime Minister. Geopolitical analyst Geoffrey Miller says Luxon will be keen to emphasise business and trade.
I think Christopher Luxon will feel very comfortable in that space because of his background, because of his focus in government at the moment. And it's also a way of perhaps removing that interest and focus on AUKUS.
This is Newstalk ZB News.
It's 6 o'clock. I'm Raylene Ramsey. Some strong words are expected behind closed doors from China's foreign minister. Wang Yi has been in talks with counterpart Peters in Wellington today ahead of an official dinner. Geopolitical analyst Geoffrey Miller says they'll be all smiles for the cameras, but, he told Heather du Plessis-Allan, behind the scenes there may be harsh words about New Zealand's AUKUS moves.
Because this new government that New Zealand has really came out strongly. They came out with a hit on the raw, wanting to align New Zealand more closely with the US and wanting to get into Pillar 2 of AUKUS, and that's not gone down well with Beijing.
Prime Minister Chris Luxon says it's a privilege to have Wang Yi here. He's just met the Foreign Minister and says the government's focus is putting renewed energy and urgency into building relationships to make sure our prosperity and security continue to grow.
Heather du Plessis-Allan.
China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi is in the country and met Winston Peters this afternoon. He's also going to meet the Prime Minister Chris Luxon later today. It's his first visit to the country since 2017. Geopolitical analyst Geoffrey Miller is back with us. Hey, Geoffrey.
Hey, good evening, Heather.
What does he want? Why is he here?
I think he's going to have a lot of strong words behind the scenes on AUKUS. I think that's the biggest reason. I don't think we'll see that publicly. I think publicly for the cameras they'll be all smiles, and that seemed to be in the photo opportunity before the meeting today. That's what happened between Winston Peters and Wang Yi. But behind the scenes, I think China will have a lot of harsh words because this new government that New Zealand has really came out strongly. They came out with a hit on the raw, wanting to align New Zealand more closely with the US and wanting to get into Pillar 2 of AUKUS, and that's not gone down well with Beijing.
So they basically want to talk us out of joining. Will that work?
Well, I think the thing is things are changing a bit, Heather. It seemed like things were happening and the US side was keen on getting New Zealand on board with AUKUS, but we had a visit by a very high-ranking US official a few weeks ago, Bonnie Jenkins, who's the US Undersecretary for Arms Control and International Security, and she seemed to be very non-committal about bringing New Zealand into the partnership. So I wrote a piece today which said that, Wang Yi's timing was just right in a sense. He's coming in where I think the US is wavering to a degree about bringing in other partners like New Zealand. China's unhappy. They're going to express that to New Zealand, and we'll see where that ends up.
Yeah, fascinating stuff. Geoffrey, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Geoffrey Miller, geopolitical analyst.
Heather du Plessis-Allan.